You're watching Nickelodeon. Now back to Kids Court.
Can a bank robber be prosecuted if his guilt is discovered after 30 years? No. Under the law, certain kinds of cases are considered closed after many years go by.
Okay, we're back with the case of the nasty critic. Henry wrote a bad review of Sarah. Sarah thinks it's because she dumped him. Why do critics say what they say? We've invited an expert witness to tell us just that. Please welcome the entertainment critic for ABC Television, Mr. Joel Siegel. Welcome to Kids Court.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Right. So this is a tough job you have we're determining through our discussion here.
It is a tough job.
But you get to eat a lot of popcorn, I guess.
That's right, and I get to go to a lot of movies. And even at the movies at their worst, when I see the worst movies ever made, and I've seen some of them, I get to sit in the dark for 2 hours and think of all the nasty things I'm going to say about the people who made it, so it's never that bad.
Henry, I think, has taken a lesson from that book there. Well, we're talking about where personal feelings fit into theater reviews. Do you ever have any trouble separating your personal feelings from a performance that you see?
It's one of the things I learned early in the job. We all have personal feelings. There are a lot of, and there's a difference between what I like and what is good. Sometimes there's not much of a difference, and I try to like what's good. But there are things that I don't like that I know are good. Ballet is an example. Puts me right to sleep.
Okay.
Broccoli. I know what's good for me. I hate this stuff. And that's true sometimes in theater and sometimes in films. I will see something that I know is good, that I know is well made, but that I just don't happen to like. And I tell the audience that. I didn't like this. You might, because it is very well done.
I see. Well, that's interesting. Now, what is slander in your definition? Or how do you see that? And does it ever come into a situation when you're reviewing
something? Well, I
something?
think the real legal term would be libel, because I'm not shouting, and it's actually, in effect, published. And I think there are very strict legal definitions. There has to be malice proven. You have to be angry at the person. There has to be foreknowledge. I'm not really quite sure exactly of those things. Critics are protected by the First Amendment. We can pretty much say what we want to say within pretty broad rules. You can't libel anyone. You can't go out of your way to say anything nasty. I guess that might be the easiest definition of that. And it's important that we can say. There was a case where a food critic, in criticizing a Chinese restaurant, said that the pancakes they used to make mushu taste like flannel. And the people who owned the restaurant took the food critic to court, and they actually made the pancakes in the court, and the judge said, these don't taste like flannel. And then they went to a higher court, and the higher court ruled, it doesn't make any difference what they taste like. What's important is the critic's right to say what they taste like.
I see. Wow, that's very interesting. It really pertains here. That's amazing. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you reviewed somebody's work, someone that you're close with or a friend of, or someone that you've had a relationship with?
It does happen. I have, and quite frankly, I think friendship is a lot more important than a review. Mm-hmm. And I let my audience know. I have two friends who make movies. They were my friends before they started making movies and before I started reviewing movies. And in both instances, I let the audiences know, these people are my friends. There was one movie that I did not review because a friend did it, and I just simply didn't review it. The movie was not reviewed. I've been in situations where I've had friends do things in theater, and my rule is, if I know the person, I try not to mention their name. And in my private life, I try not to be friends with actors or friends with stars, because I really think I'm on the other side, and I think that's important.
And you feel that's part of your professional
It's kind of like a cop being a friend with a crook. You know, you just don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, why don't we take some questions from our jury here? I think you've given us some great things to think about. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Siegel? Right up here.
Yes, hi, my name is Kim.
Hi.
I would like to know, how long were you working with WABC?
I've been there your entire life. I've been there 12 years at WABC TV.
Thank you.
Yeah, with a question? Stand up so we can see you.
I
You forgot it. Okay. You want to review her question by any chance? Okay. Go ahead.
Do you enjoy working where you work?
I love it. I have the greatest job in the world. I really do.
How many movies or plays would you say you've seen in the last 12 years working?
In the last 12 years, I see at least 200 movies a year and probably 50 plays a year. So that's 3,000 movies and plays. And some of them have been good.
Go ahead.
Is there a difference between reviewing film and theater?
That's a good question, and there really is a difference between reviewing film and theater, and it's something I think all critics should appreciate. When I review a movie, everybody's been paid. The work is done. So I can say angry things and nasty things about people, and it's not going to hurt anybody's job. And it's also not going to affect the product no matter what I say. I can stand on my head and say, do it this way or do it that way, but it's already done. The film is finished. But theater is very different, and pay attention to this, because the people are alive, and performances change, and you're talking to real people who are going to read the review and be affected by it.
All right now we're out of time. In our opinion, you've been very helpful. A big thumbs up and thanks to Mr. Joel Siegel,
you.
entertainment critic for ABC Television. Okay. Now you guys be sure and review your notes because we're coming back to vote right after this.
Here's the headline. Peanut burgers? Long live school lunch. First, they declare ketchup's a vegetable. Now they want to classify nuts as meat. Get this. Peanuts, soy nut, and nuts from trees like walnuts would be allowed as meat substitutes in school lunches. Now, how about that peanut burger to go? Heavy on the onions.
It's the case of the nasty critic. Sarah got a bad review from Henry. She thinks it was unfair. Then we found out that Henry and Sarah went out together, and then she broke it off. Asha here is going to show us the case from her point of view.
Here's Henry sitting watching this Romeo and Juliet, and he has 2 thumbs down. And up here, according to him, is Juliet sounding like a vacuum cleaner and walking like a moose.
They were the antlers right there, and
Yep.
I see you had them cut. That's nice. You look better now. Thank you, Asha. Let's get some lawyers from the audience to offer closing arguments for Sarah and Henry. 15 seconds is all you get. Remember, the gavel will sound when your time is up. Let's find out who's arguing for Sarah. Your name is?
Sean.
Sean, welcome. Okay, 15 seconds. Convince us all that you're right. Go.
Well, I think Henry has no right to criticize Sarah and that he should not let his personal life interfere with his career life. And I think, if I say myself, that Sarah did an outstanding performance.
Okay, there you go. And arguing on behalf of Henry the Nasty Critic, your name is?
Pam.
Pam, you got 15 seconds. Go.
Henry does not include his personal life with his work life. He does his work very well. I was at the play, and I saw Sarah was okay, and there were a lot of other people, and they were a lot better. I think that...
Okay, you've heard the arguments, you've heard the discussion, you've heard our expert witness testimony. Let's bring out the Honorable Judge O'Meter to measure your vote. And remember, make as much noise as you can for your side. Here we go. If you think Henry is guilty of writing an unfair review, then vote now. Okay. If you think Henry is innocent because he was just doing his job, then vote now. All right. Congratulations, Henry. You have won the case. The Kids Court jury has found you not guilty. Sarah, you gave it a good shot. I'm sorry you lost the case, and maybe we have some acting lessons for you later. I don't know. Let's take some questions from our jury. I want to find out why people voted the way they did. What do you say? Did anybody change their mind through the case here? Decide one way at first and then change their mind? Go ahead.
Well, I think even if she was bad, he shouldn't write things about her like that, just to be nice. I mean, he shouldn't be bad like that.
Yeah, even though he's just doing his job, maybe there's somebody doesn't have to get hurt. What do you say?
I think he was just jealous because she dumped him and she could get another person
Yeah,
go out
so-
with or somebody.
So you wouldn't have voted not guilty? You would have found him guilty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not happy with this decision?
No.
What do you think?
If they were friends, he would have said something less harsh. It wouldn't have been the way it was.
Yeah, he could have said the same thing. He could have said she wasn't good, but not really hurt her. Well, that's about all the time we have right now. This case is closed. How about a hand for our plaintiff and our defendant, Kerry and Matthew? You did a terrific job. And our lawyers, Sean and Pam, and of course, Joel Siegel. See you next time when you'll be the judge and you'll be the jury on Kids Court, where kids rule. Who wants to sound off? What do you say? Right up here.
Well, I don't like it when my dad makes me clean up my room.
You want to live in a pigsty?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. Fair or unfair? Unfair! What are you still here for? Sound off.
I hate it when my grandmother asks me if I want any more food, and I say no, and then she gives it to me anyway.
She makes you eat.
Yeah.
But isn't that the great thing about grandmas?
I guess so.
Fair or unfair? Unfair! Oh, we have a Joel Siegelgram. Okay. This one is from William Leach, New York City. Dear Kids Court, it makes me angry when my mom embarrasses me by showing my friends my baby pictures. Oh, don't you hate that? Fair or unfair? Unfair! Sound off.
I hate it when my parents don't let me use the telephone.
Kids
Never?
Court wants to hear from you, so send us your cases. See something for the Kids Court reporter?
Fair or
Send us the
unfair?
clippings from your local paper.
Sound
Write
off.
to Kids Court, Post Office Box 1568, Ansonia Station, New York, New York, 10023.
to make my bed
How long has it been since you made your bed?
this morning.
Fair or unfair? Unfair! All right, sound off.
I hate when my brother comes to my room in the morning when I'm sleeping and he wakes me up.
Ooh, he's trying to get a few hours shut-eye there. Fair or unfair? Unfair! Sound off.
I think it's unfair that, that I'm not allowed to chew bubble gum because I have braces.
You can chew it, you'll just never get it out of your mouth.
That's true.
Fair or unfair? Unfair! Well, probably a pretty good idea, to be perfectly honest. Sound off.
I hate when my brother takes away my remote control car away from me, and I can't play with it anymore.
What does he do with it?
He hides it away from me.
Just hide? Doesn't even play with it himself?
Yeah.
Maybe you get a remote control for your brother. They can put it back. Fair or unfair? Unfair! Sound off.
I hate when my brother shows off in front of my friends.
Oh, what does he do?
He acts like funny. He doesn't be his normal self.
Oh, fair or unfair? Unfair! Sound off.
I hate it when the president's on television and I can't watch my favorite show.
They cancel the good shows to hear him yakking. Fair or unfair?